Hello guys, welcome to our channel. So today we will learn about the universe and art of encyclopedia. So first we will learn that what happens during a meteor shower. So a meteor shower is an event when many meteors seem to come from one point in the night sky. These meteors are caused by meteorites entering Earth's atmosphere at extremely high speed on parallel paths. Most meteors are smaller than a grain of sand, so almost all of them burn up and never hit the Earth's surface. Meteor showers occur when dust or particles from asteroids or comets enter Earth's atmosphere at very high speed. When they hit the atmosphere, meteors rub against air particles and create friction, hitting the meteors. The heat vaporizes most meteors, creating what we will call shooting stars. Next is are there planets that don't orbit a star. Some planets travel through a space on their own, floating in whichever direction gravity pulls them. We call these uncreated flying objects rough planets. Experts say there may be billions in the Milky Way galaxy alone. Because rock planets are in the constant motion and do not give off light, they are difficult to detect. These planets originally from around stars like any other but get kicked out of the system at some point due to gravitational effects of giant planets within. They may also simply form on their own, separate from any star. Next topic is what is the largest and most powerful magnet in the universe? So magnetars are the most violent, extensive and powerful magnets that exists in our universe. Magnets come into existence the same way a neutron star does through the core collapse of a massive star during a supernova explosion. Magnetars are nothing more than this same rapidly rotating neutron stars that somehow to the great massification of the physicists produce intensely powerful magnetic fields and released high energy X-rays and gamma rays. A magnetar has a magnetic field as intense as 10 to the power 15 Gauss. The strongest magnetic field ever produced in labs on the Earth is 450 Gauss. One amazing fact is it takes approximately 248 hours here of Pluto to make one trip around the Sun. Our next topic is why is there no oxygen in space? Oxygen is concentrated in the lower areas of the atmosphere and becomes scarcer as we go higher. That's why mountaineers and trekkers have difficulty breathing at the summit as there is very little oxygen present here. The air gets thinner the higher we go. After a point where gravity is no longer acting forcefully, the air molecules, oxygen, are no longer attracted to the earth. Thus, the molecules are farther away from each other, often so far apart in fact that we say that there is no air present or label it a vacuum. One another amazing fact is Earth is the only planet not named after a god. Our next topic is why don't any of the inner planets have rings? There could be two reasons that the inner planets do not have rings like outer planets. In the past, there are collisions between large size craters and inner planets that might have occurred, due to which there is possibility that rings of rocky debris surround the inner planets. However, the Earth's gravity disrupted the rings. The rings consist of dust and ice. Since inner planets are close to the sun, the chances of forming icy rings are negligible due to high temperature. That's why Earth or any other terrestrial planets don't have any rings. Our next topic, why or what is the Goldilocks zone? So, astronomers believe that a planet must be within a certain distance from a star in order to be capable of supporting the type of life that we have on Earth. In a region known as the circumstellar habitable zone. Since planets in this zone are supposed to be not too hot or not too cold for life, it is also referred to as the Goldilocks zone after the famous fairy tale. It is generally regarded as the temperature range in which liquid water could exist on the surface of a planet range of common atmospheric pressure. Another amazing fact is Neptune's moon Triton orbits the planet backwards. Our next topic is, what is Kepler 452b? In the image, this is the planet as the same as the Earth, called Kepler 452b. Kepler 452b is the first near Earth sized planet in the habitable zone around the sun like star that scientists discovered. Currently, planetary scientists define the habitable zone as the area around the star where liquid water could pool on the surface of an orbiting planet. However, there is debate about the definition, as it is not known whether any form of life on another planet would require liquid water. Kepler 452b was discovered in 2015. The Kepler 452 system is located 1400 light years away in the constellation Cygnus. Our next is another amazing fact: Neptune takes nearby 165 Earth years to make one orbit of the Sun. What is space debris and why is it a problem? So, space debris is the collection of useless objects that are in the orbit around Earth, like broken satellites, empty rockets, piece of metal, and many more. The accumulation of space junk poses a particularly catastrophic threat to humankind's future in space exploration because of the high speeds at which the objects orbit Earth. Up to 8 km per second, the collision with even a small piece of space debris can damage a spacecraft. It could also have detrimental effects on Earth's environment. There are around 34,000 pieces of space junk bigger than 10 centimeters in size and millions of smaller pieces. So, our next topic, what has been the deadliest explosion in the universe? Gamma ray bursts are the brightest and most energy packed explosion ever recorded in the universe, second only to the Big Bang. They release the same amount of energy it takes the sun 10 billion years to produce in just the first 10 seconds of their existence. A gamma ray burst will emit the same amount of energy as a supernova caused when a star collapses and explodes, their peak luminosities can be 100 billion times that of our sun, and a billion times more than even the brightest supernovas. So this is a deadliest explosion in the universe. Our next topic: why do photographs taken in space not have stars in the backgrounds? If you want to capture an image of a relatively large celestial objects, example the moon, earth, etc., in space, then you will keep the exposure of your camera short. However, with a short exposure setting, you will not be able to capture the stars present in the background. This is because the stars are extremely far away and therefore too dim in comparison to the large bright object in the foreground. An image which is actually taken in space is unlikely to have both a bright celestial objects in the foreground and bright stars in the background. One amazing fact is even thought Voyager 1 travels about a million miles per day. The spacecraft will take about 300 years to reach the inner boundary of the Oort cloud. Our next topic is it hot or cold at the International Space Station ISS? The temperature on the ISS is neither too high nor too low. Rather, it's maintained at a comfortable level as a result of certain elaborated process and equipment in order to ensure the thermal radiation does not raise the internal temperature of ISS or that heat from within the ISS is not lost to outside. They use a highly reflective blanket called multi-layer illustration MLI to cover basically the entire space station. This reflective blanket not only keeps the sun radiation at bay but also shields the ISS from the bitter cold of space. Our next topic is how do rockets work in space without oxygen? So, the fire cannot burn without two critical elements: a fuel, the thing that burns, and an oxidizer which starts the burning process and keeps it going. So, you need fire to propel your rocket, but you don't have enough oxygen and oxidizer in space. If you go to the painting competition where they don't provide you with paints, what do? Bring your own. Simple. Many rockets carry a tank of liquid oxygen which acts as an oxidizer needed to sustain the combustion reaction. The most commonly used fuels in such rockets and liquids hydrogen or kerosene. Our next amazing fact is the sun takes between 225 million and 250 million years from the sun to complete its orbit through the Milky Way. Our next topic is what would happen if we popped a balloon in space. On Earth, when you strike a pin in the balloon, the air molecules expand at the speed of sound or ever faster. When this air blows far past our ears, it is in the form of pressure wave that our ears perceive as a bang, just like a terrifying bang when a jet blows through the sound barrier above your head. In space, the air molecules would still expand outward but without any air in a vacuum. There is no sound barrier to break perceive. So it would be a completely silent pop. Our next topic is that is why do rockets follow a curved trajectory while going into a space. So, rockets have to tilt to the side as they travel into the sky. In order to reach orbit or a circular part of the motion around the Earth, this is steering technique is known as gravity turn. If it did not do that and continued to go straight up, it would eventually reach a point where its fuel would run and out, and most likely it would end up plummeting back to earth like a stone. The fuel that rocket consequently saves can be used to accelerate in horizontally in order to attain a high speed and more easily enter the orbit. Now we are coming to the solar system. The nearest planet to the sun is our Mercury. So the are there volcanoes on Mercury? Volcanoes played a vital role in the formation of Mercury images obtained by the messenger shuttle identified 51 pyroclastic deposits on the planet. A pyroclastic flow influx of hot volcanic matter that leaves vents in the crust at a very high velocity. The fingers of Mercury's smooth plains indicate that they are formed from solidified lava that followed thousands of years ago. The messenger shuttle suggested the presence of several low profile shield volcanoes on the planets closest to the sun. A shield volcano, in short, is height and is composed of fluid lava flow oozing out from inside of the planet. So our next topic is why Mercury is not the hottest planet even though it is the nearest to the sun. Mercury is has almost no atmosphere because it is so close to the sun. It can be very hot on the sun side. Mercury can reach a scoring 800 degrees Fahrenheit. On its dark side, Mercury gets very cold because it has this almost an atmosphere to hold in heat and keep the surface warm. The temperature can drop down to minus 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Hence, Mercury is not the hottest planet in the solar system. There is a thick atmosphere on the Venus, and all the heat radiation is caught the atmosphere, making it the hottest planet. So, our next member of our solar system is Venus, our second planet in our solar system. Why does Venus have a sulfuric acid in the clouds? Clouds. The clouds we can see on Venus are made up of sulfur dioxide and drops of sulfuric acid. These are formed by the very rapid photosynthesis of the carbon sulfide in the upper atmosphere. They reflect about 75% of sunlight that falls on them. They are and are completely opaque. It's this cloud that block our view to the surface of Venus. Venus, these clouds, only a fraction of sunlight reaches the surface. If you could stand on the surface of Venus, everything would look dimly lit with a maximum visibility of about 3 kilometers. One an amazing fact is there are more volcanoes on the Venus than any other planet in our solar system. How many times does the sun rise duration each year on Venus? Venus takes about 243 Earth days to spin around just once. Because it is so close to the sun, a year goes by fast. It takes 225 Earth days for Venus to go all the way around the sun. Since the day and year lengths are similar, one day on Venus is not like a day on Earth. Here, the sun rises and sets on each day. But no, the Venus, the sun rises every 117 Earth days. That means the sun rises 2 minutes during each year on Venus. Even thought it is still the same day on Venus. One amazing fact is Venus is named after the Roman goddess of love. It is the only planet that is named after a female. So our next topic is why does not Venus have a magnetic field? Venus does not have its own internally generated magnetic field. Instead, Venus has what is known as induced magnetic field. This weak magnetic field is created by the interaction of the sun's magnetic field and the planet's outer atmosphere. Ultraviolet rays or the light from the sun excites gases in Venus' outermost atmosphere. These electrically excited gases are called ions, and thus the regions is called the ionosphere. When the sun's magnetic field interacts with the ionosphere, it creates or includes the magnetic field that screams behind the planet like a comet's tail. Our next topic is what would Earth be like with no moon? Without the moon, life on Earth would be much different. For example, the planet's tides would be much weaker. Without the moon, Earth might have a very different climate than it does today. This would have likely limited the movement of species around the world. Some plants and animals alive today might not even exist. Without the moon, days on Earth would be much shorter. Without the moon, experts estimate the Earth still could increase as high as 45 degrees. It would also mean that each half of the planet would experience 6 months of the daylight followed by 6 months of darkness. So our next topic is that one amazing fact is Halley's comet will pass over Earth again on July 26, 2061. So our last topic is why is Earth closest to the sun in January? It is all about the tilt of the Earth's axis. Many people believe that the temperature changes because the Earth is closer to the sun in summer and farther from the sun in winter. In the fact, the Earth is the fastest from the sun in July and farthest from the sun in July and is closest to the sun in January. Johannes Kepler was the one who understood the actual orbits of the planet around the sun. He suggested that the orbits of each planet around the sun is an ellipse, with the sun being at one of the foci. So, at one time of the year, the earth should be closer to the sun than the other. One amazing fact is using the naked eye, you can see 3 to 7 different galaxies from Earth. So for today, till here, we will. This is Universe Encyclopedia Part 1. Part 2, we will you see in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my video. So for today, bye.